and welcome to another episode of Autocar Professional Dialogue. Today we are in conversation with Mr. Vipin Sondhi, the Chairperson for National Board for Quality Promotion. Mr. Sondhi, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mayank, and great to be talking to Autocar again, and good to see you.
Pleasure. Mr. Sondhi, want to understand from you what exactly is NABCB and how is it relevant for the automotive industry?
It's a great question, and quality as a dimension is critical, and the automobile industry, if any industry is there, is at the forefront. However, what is NABCB? It's called, as this board says, the National Accreditation Board for certification bodies. Now, there are 4 pillars, in a sense, for quality and quality infrastructure. One is metrology, the second is standardization, the third is accreditation, and the fourth is certification. For us, while the OEMs are at the forefront and very often have the ability, if they are MNCs, to have systems and processes which are of global standards, and so have the large Indian companies done it. What's important from an Indian standpoint is how the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 suppliers, especially the MSMEs, how do we ensure that there is a system in position that accredits them and for which they are recognized. Let me take another example. What about our service engineers, people who have a skill but they are not certified? And if they were certified, right now, for example, OEMs certify them as far as possible. But that's not good enough. A government body, government autonomous recognized body, which accredits institutions that can further go and certify these. Just imagine that there'll be a basic level. That level will be understood by everybody, and then the utilization of parts, which are also accredited, can then be utilized in after sales and service. So skilling, accreditation of skilling, standards, accreditation of standards, of quality. I mean, it's a tremendous initiative, really, that we can do through NABCB for our country.
Right. So where do you see the current standard of quality in the Indian automotive ecosystem, talking about both the component side as well as the OEM side?
I'm biased. I think we're world class. Okay. Fundamentally, I think over the last 20 years, if you look at both auto and auto ancillaries, have gained the recognition of global quality. Right? Having said that, I think what's important is there is now new technology, whether it's electric vehicles, hydrogen, biofuels, all of that come in. Who is devising the standards for these? Is India on the table? Having said that, once these standards are devised, and whoever devises them, again we have to reinvent ourselves into ensuring that our world-class industry does that and is on a par, so that we continue to use India as a global manufacturing hub. But then we go down to people who don't have that opportunity. Now you're talking of tier 2, tier 3 suppliers who don't have the resources to be able to skill themselves or have that technology. And that's where I think bodies such as this can come in, so that there's an accreditation, there's standardization, people rise to those skill levels, and then there's recognition that yes, we've reached that place. So as technology evolves, the automotive industry is reinventing itself, and a whole setting of standards, whether it's for hydrogen, electric vehicles, batteries, all of that is coming into play. We have to gear ourselves with quality infrastructure, accreditation, standards, and skill.
Right. So are you then partnering with bodies like ACMA, who are the leading bodies for the component industry, in helping these MSMEs come up, and you're hand-holding them to improve the quality at their level?
So, so ACMA is, let's say, a membership of automobile ancillaries, automobile component manufacturers. Not all of them are members. So you have tier 3 as well. For us, the entire universe is of anybody who is manufacturing in India. Now, ACMA is a great body for bringing about awareness. So we partner with them. But we partner with other, let's say, standardization bodies who we accredit. So then what happens is that there are, let's say, 5 or 7 other people also who can actually approved by NABCB or accredited by NABCB can go out and reach out to tier 2, tier 3 and tier 1 suppliers as well. So that not everything is limited at one level.
Right.
So we accredit standardization agencies as well.
Right. So do you then accredit bodies like ARAI, ICAT and GARC, these global agencies as well?
So we work in tandem with them. That's where standards are developed and that's where testing takes place, etc. But there are a lot of, let's say, well-renowned, and I won't name them, well-renowned standard agencies apart from the ones that you mentioned who are also there. So the answer is yes. And our job is to accredit them so that the ultimate customer understands that there is a level of standard that these are accredited for, and then these accreditations are renewed from time to time.
Right. I was going through NABCB's portfolio, and one thing that I noticed there was the mention of road traffic safety management.
Yeah.
So are you like, is that one of the key areas, key focus areas for NABCB when you talk about quality in this particular?
So I think road safety is fundamental. Everything must start from the citizen.
Yeah.
So the answer to your question is absolutely yes. And it is standardization right across every aspect of, because you're from Autocar, every aspect of automobile engineering, which includes road safety as well, driver standards as well, skilling standards for the auto industry as well. All of it is part of the accreditation program.
Right. And going forward, what scope do you see where NABCB is going to, sort of intensify its efforts to improve quality at the MSMEs, in terms of skilling? What areas have you identified?
The areas are reopened all over again with the disruption taking place. Standardization and accreditation of all testing agencies to the new standards of biofuels, batteries, battery management systems, hydrogen. Once these standards come into play, they will need to be accredited or re-accredited all along. People will have to be skilled all along. Service people will have to be, that's a great opportunity actually. And for me, when I look at it, MSMEs should be our big focus. And to give the citizens confidence, road traffic of course, but safety in all aspects, especially vehicle safety when there are maybe concerns in one mind on lithium-ion batteries, there may be concerns, right, wrong is a separate issue. We have to ensure that accreditation is once given, we give a certain level of comfort to the citizen who is going to either travel or be a bystander of these vehicles as well. I think these are critical. But I think a bigger thing, Mayank, is, we in India, we test. Our mindset in auto again, world-class standards. Our testing capabilities are second to none. And we are very competitive in cost.
Right.
No longer always does a physical movement of product need to take place. 40% of a future vehicle is going to be software, and it's going to be a combination of product and technology.
Right.
We have to position ourselves in some way as a global testing center.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the roles that accreditation agencies, NABCB and others must play, so that we bring in or become a testing hub, like they say a manufacturing hub, but also become a testing hub.
Right.
And then let it grow from automobiles into other sectors. I mean, there are so many sectors.
Right.
That's another role that actually we can play as NABCB.
Right.
We are internationally very well connected with simultaneously with bodies such as ourselves across the world.
Okay.
So conversation is always on.
Right.
Now the question is, how do we think and see how we can actually become a testing?
Right. Mr. Sondhi, thank you so much.
My
pleasure. Thank you.